Okay, set your case down in front of you, your drain plug and fill plug holes towards you and up. There should be 4 shims, 2 per bearing. They're going to go on the small end of the cone of the bearing. Grab a little piece of cardboard, and then the big end of your case, set that down in the bottom. The cardboard is to keep the bearing from falling through that other side hole. Gently lower your idler gears down onto that bearing. More gently than that if you can. Okay. Your spacer, grab that, doesn't matter which way it goes. Set it on top of your bearing, on top of the shims. Doesn't have to be perfect, but as close as you can. Set your shims on top of the spacer, bearing down in. And then you're going to slide the whole assembly, including the cardboard, over to where it needs to go, to where you're going to drop the idler shaft into place. As you get close, it's going to get tighter with that cardboard in there. Alright, just keep working it over to the idler shaft holes. Alright, and slide your cardboard out. Then if anything got out of alignment, like those shims especially, you can just grab your pick and kind of get things close to where they were, so you can see clearly to the other side. And then we're going to drop our shaft in place. Alright, get a couple of love taps. We're going to do 120 foot-pounds again. Alright, see if I can get this torqued facing the camera like that. To 120. Is that 120? Look like it from this angle. Punch myself in the face here. There we go. 119, 120, whatever it takes. Alright. Now, make sure those rotate freely. Really no reason why they shouldn't unless something's totally jacked up in there. Got 3 new cap head screws or bolts. Again, we'll use some flexible sealant, and then you can see the flat spot on this back cover. That's going to go over here. I'll show you. That's going to go right here. So this cover won't interfere. So that's why that has a flat spot. Sounds like we got a brother fight out there between the 6-year-old and the 2-year-old. It's not uncommon. Where'd I go? There we go. Okay, and 3 new 5/16 cap head screws. I like the stainless against black look. I like the cap head look. And these are 25 foot-pounds, I think. Yep, 25 foot-pounds. Okay. I always double check when I torque something. Okay, now we can slide in our rail pins down into here. See if I can get focused in. There we go. One on the, slide them all the way in to so they're centered between shift rail holes. Kind of slippery. I put a little bit of 90 weight on them just to help them slide easier. You can see it poking its head in there. Just back it so you can barely see it in both shift rail holes. Okay, we got our rail pins in. Now we're going to flip it over. So our shift rail seals are up. Put a little bit of petroleum jelly on the lips of those seals. Should do that with just about any type of seal, no matter what you're working on. Lube it up before you slide the shaft or whatever down into it. Okay, tilt your case up like so. Now here's where it comes in handy, where we marked the shift rail boss and the shift rail itself. You're going to grab the 4-wheel drive side, which is the long one. It's the one that I marked with 2 dimples. Shift fork is going to go long side towards me in this case. We're going to set it like that. We lubed up the seal lips. I'm going to slide it in just a little bit with your detents up. These 3 detents are going to go up. Get it in there a little ways. And then we're going to get our shift fork situated. You get a little bit of a window in there where you can slide it up in there. There we go. And go until your roll pin hole lines up. Remember our roll pin? I do. Alright. You'll look about like that from the top. Okay, now we're going to get the input shaft ready to go. Go ahead and slide the fork and synchro or collar or whatever you call it out. Slide your bearing on. We're going to put that hard to deal with snap ring back on. If you deformed it in any manner, you need to get a new one. And it may prove to be just as much of a pain in the butt to get back on, but we'll see. socket that'll slide down over that, just to give it one tap to get it seated down in there. Okay, bearing is seated. That stout snap ring is seated into its spot. We got this snap ring groove to the outside of the case. Slide it in this way and mesh the gears up. Get the bearing started into its hole. Give it some love taps. Okay, went a little farther. Get that big snap ring. This. Get it back into position. Like I said, I went a little bit far, so take it so it's against the case, good and tight. Then slide this unit back on. The long edge of that bushing area will go in. Gonna slide it up there. We're just gonna put it in kind of loose right now. Go ahead and mesh up that collar or synchro. And now we should be able to put in the short high-low shift rail. Okay, we're gonna put our range shift rail in. The collar just slipped off there, no biggie. That's the shorter one. Detents up. We've already lubed up the lips of our new seal. We'll get it started and then reach in and grab your shift fork and get it situated to be able to receive the shift rail. That rail pin is a little bit too far in there. It's kind of holding us up, so we'll just slide it back. There we go. Okay, you're hearing that shift fork and collar rattle around in here right now. We're going to take care of that pretty quick as we continue to slide the rail in. We catch the bushing area of the fork. Hopefully you can see it down in there. And just slide it in until you hit kind of a neutral there. And then we're going to work on getting those roll pins in place. This is going to kind of rattle around and maybe get in your way a little bit, but the thing is we need it in there because you can't put it in after that roll pin is in. Now we're going to install our roll pins that connect the shift fork to the shift rail. It can be kind of a struggle. I did them in the twin stick modification video that I have up, but to get them going I came up with the idea of just barely starting a screw into the end of one, and also I ever so slightly tapered the end of the roll pin. I've got the holes in the shift rail and the fork lined up. And like I've said, a lot of this is just going by feel. Hopefully that'll stay. Nope. Try again. Nope. Okay, So finally, after about 478 tries, I got the pin started. You just want to keep going into the fork and then into the shift rail. Okay, and I'll take it all the way down until it's flush with the fork. And there is no way I'm going to be able to show you that with the camera, but hopefully you get the gist of it. Okay. And then we'll do the other side the same way. This one is actually a little closer to the top, to your hole there. So I'm thinking it's a little easier. Okay, again flush with the bushing area of the shift fork, and those are good. We won't put our detemp balls and springs and plugs in quite yet. Next, lay her down like this. Grab your front output shaft bearing. Throw that snap ring on it. And get it situated down in there. Use a clean piece of brass. Okay. Get it seated good against the case. And then we're going to flip it over onto some 2x material. Look, 2x material. Need about 4 inches of clearance, so 4x4 would work good. Just so you can work in this cavity here, and make sure you can see it. Yeah, just so you can work where we can get our front output shaft and gear assembly down in there comfortably. So this is our front output shaft assembly. It's basically going to go in this end first, down in through the bearing, but we got to do it in 3 pieces. So we're going to take the thrust washer off, basically just put it straight down onto the bearing, get it lined up with the bearing. Okay, grab your gear, slide it right off the shaft, turn it upside down as you go, get it finagled past the shift fork, have it sitting down on the bearing too. Again, we need to keep everything lined up. And grab our collar. Slide it onto the little fork wear pieces, and then down, synchronize it with that gear. Okay, push it down. And then make sure you're lined up with your thrust washer and your gear into the bearing to make it easier to slide the shaft in. Now, just pick up this whole unit, slide her down in there. Again, you might have to do some finagling, that's a technical term, to get everything to mesh right and get it down in there. There we go. Alright. You play with it a little bit, make sure everything spins freely. Feels good. Of course, everything sounds dry because it is dry right now. Okay, now your front output shaft is in there. Okay, now we're going to put our back cover on. We'll pack our rollers in there. My wife dared me to call them roly-polies on YouTube, so we're going to put our roly-polies in there with some petroleum jelly, just like we did on the other two sets of roller bearings. Or roly-polies, I should say. That'll get me some brownie points, right? And I don't remember how many of these there are. Just the right amount, though. Hang on, buddy. Once you get all your roly-polies in there, get them all worked to the outside and all in good alignment. Alright, see that? I hope. Then once again we're going to put a thin layer of gasket sealer on both sides of the gasket. Make sure you get your gasket lined up correctly. I've got a thin layer on both sides of the gasket and it's in there. Can only go one way. I mean, I guess you could put it another way, but it wouldn't look right and it wouldn't be right. Our bearings are all packed in with petroleum jelly. This back cover can go on only one way as well. You'll be able to tell by this hump right here matches up with the hump on the sealing surface. Ease it down on there so you don't disturb those roly-polies, excuse me. Alright. And these bolts go to 25 foot-pounds. Stuff like this, I like to do a crisscross pattern just to keep it from somehow warping. That piece is aluminum, so I'll go kind of easy on it. I didn't put any sealant on the bolt threads. You could. I used enough of the flexible sealant around the gaskets that I let it go down into the bolt threads just a little bit to help seal those up. It's getting heavier, so hopefully you ate your Wheaties. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this flange together. We already drove the seal in, so we're going to do it again. Thin layer of gasket sealer. You got to line up this slot with the drain back hole. Went ahead and drove the seal all the way in again so I can have better sealing area on the yoke and avoid buying a speedy sleeve.